Hi, I'm Sarah Jane from siliconmolds.com, and today we're going to do a tutorial on how to make some simple macaron packaging at very low cost. We make our own macaron mats, and these mats enable you to make your macarons all come out identical size every time. One side of our mat has 25 cells that are 2 inch or 50 mil in diameter, and if you flip it over, it has 64 tiny small 35mm or 1.5 inch size macarons on the other. The good thing about that is when it makes your macarons all the same size, it helps make packaging much easier. This is a simple idea that I've come up with. Basically it's a kind of tube that you slide your macarons inside, and the beauty of that is it transports and posts quite easy and gives it a lot of protection, and it's very low cost and easy to make. Let's show you how. Okay, to make our pretty macaron packaging, which makes it easy to transport your macarons through the post, or looks very pretty as a gift, you just slide it in and out of this tube, see? What we're going to start with is we're going to start with some Kanban card. I'm sure there's other types of cards you can use, but it's often used in paper crafts, and I've got a huge stash of this stuff because I like it a lot. Here we are. Look at these bits of cellophane. Okay, this is the piece that I'm going to use today. Some of the card that you can buy with Kanban will have borders for using on card making, or just plain patterns, and some of them are also double-sided with another pattern on the back. Basically there's just so many to choose from. Most of the cards start about £1.50 for about 10 sheets, and they're easy enough to buy on eBay. And I've got a huge collection of this stuff because it's so pretty and I can do so many different craft work with it. This is just a small collection of some of the ones that I've got. Anyway, I've picked out a sheet for using today, which is already the one on the top, so we'll just have this one out ready. Now, basically what I want is I want an A5 sheet, and that A5 sheet is going to end up making the outer for holding 6 macarons. To start with, what we need is a donor piece of card, because that piece of card is going to act as the feeder. Because what's then going to happen is we're going to make a cardboard tube and cover it in cellophane on the outside. But what we're then going to do is put the macarons down this tube, and by putting them down the tube into the cellophane, it means we don't get any buttercream or filling on the cellophane itself, and holds them all in position. Then we're going to tie the bag with the macarons up and make a new outer sleeve, which will be your final sleeve for the outside. The one donor tube can do several batches, obviously, of macarons. You could maybe even use a piece of plastic so that when you untape it, you could wipe it down and use it again. This is the card that we use for the outside of our macarons, so I'll find another piece as a donor sheet. Okay, this one will do. And believe it or not, I don't actually have any white cards, so it's all colours. So first of all, we want an A5 sheet, and these are A4. So all I'm going to do is fold it in half and cut it into 2. Nothing difficult about that. There we go, that gives us a crease line. I should have picked a bigger pair of scissors. We've got these tiddly ones today, but there we go, that'll do the job. Just this one. Now this one doesn't even have to be that neat or even, because we're not going to use this as our final packaging. Okay, so here's our tube. Now, to make my cardboard tube and know what size it is, what I've got is a tub of bicarbonate soda from Tesco's. I know, a bit random, but it's the right diameter. It's slightly bigger than the actual macarons. All my macarons are 50mm. You could use a rolling pin or another piece of cardboard tube, but this is just a nice, easy size for me for rolling my card round about, and it makes it a bit less fiddly to do. Now we're only going to do this bit once to start with. This is our donor tube. So what we're going to do is just put the card round there, roll it round and tape it. And there we have our donut tube. Now, the next thing to do, put this one away here. The next thing to do is cut a piece of cellophane which is about twice the height of this donut, twice the length of this donut tube, because we want to tie it off at the top and fold the piece in at the bottom. So, have a roll of cellophane. And I'm just going to cut a strip off. This strip will probably do 2 or 3 packs. And get rid of the roll. And then we're going to cut our strip long enough to wrap around the actual macarons with a little bit extra to spare. Okay, that's more than plenty for now. That's a bit big. I don't know if you can actually see it because it's clear against the desk. It might make it a bit slightly difficult to see, but it's a bit more than twice the length of the tube, so it's a bit big. I'm going to take another couple of inches off the bottom and kind of straighten it up a bit because it's a bit wonky. There we are. Okay, more sellotape. Usually I'd cut them all in advance and make them nice and neat, but this is just a quick tutorial to give you an idea of how to do it. So what we do is we've got our cardboard tube, and I'm going to wrap it in the cellophane and then secure the cellophane with a piece of sellotape. Now I'm actually going to secure this probably about just about 2/3 up the actual overall cellophane. Now, what I'm going to do now is take a piece of curling ribbon. You could use ordinary satin ribbon. This is actually all I've got in at work today, so curling ribbon it will be. Stand your tube up. And what we're going to do is we're just going to tie it right the top. I've got a bit much cellophane here, but it will do the same job. And trim that down later. And just tie it so it's a bit like a cracker. And I'll tie that in a double knot because we can curl that in a little minute. Now, put the cellophane down the tube. And the whole purpose of this is it keeps the end open for feeding the macarons down. So we're just going to take our macarons. Oops, I've left this foil a bit long. Take our macarons and feed them down the inside of the tube. Right, I'm going to push them up a bit. I've left it too long at the ends. I knew I had too much cellophane on here. And I'll just cut some of it off. Okay. So our macarons are all now inside the foil tube, in the cello tube, and just pull this out. Then what we do is just take off the bottom of our wrap of macarons and hold that there until I get another piece of sellotape. Should have pre-cut this. Never mind. Why is it you can never find the end roll of clear sellotape when you're looking for it? Okay, so we now have a nicely wrapped 6 macarons, which you could actually leave as it is, but if you want to transport them, you need some protection because macarons are awfully easy damaged and bashed. So what we're going to do now is take our A4 piece of card, which I have already marked somewhere. There we go. Because it's stripes, this one's quite easy because you can cut up the length of a stripe. And I'm going to cut this into 2 pieces. Okay. On one end of these, let's get something else in the back, that doesn't matter on this one, some of them are double-sided. Terrible tape trouble today. This is a piece of double-sided sticky tape. What I'm going to do is put the double-sided sticky tape at one end of the piece of card. And remove. Yeah. Now, if I get my roll of bicarbonate soda again, and put the donor tube in the inside, and then roll the outer tube that's going to go around our macarons over the donor tube, and then know it's bigger so that the macarons are going to slide down the inside. And basically just press down and adhere that with a double-sided sticky tape. And pull this one out, and then our macarons with a little bit of a jiggle and slide nicely in our tube. Then it's just a case of trimming this up a bit because I've left it a bit high. I mean, you could do this an awful lot quicker because if you did them in advance, if you actually cut the card all in advance, so it's all the right size, all the tape ready, you can do a batch all in one go, and I can make these really, really fast. It only takes 2 or 3 minutes to make a full set, including putting it in the tube. Why is it when you're on video you always fluff things up a bit? I don't know. Anyway, there you go. There's one packed tube. Now, just to finish that off a little bit, since there's some nice trim here, we'll just put some nice trim around it as well. So, there's a nice border on this one. I'm just going to cut the border off. You could use a ribbon around the middle if you wanted to, just leave it plain. And then we'll put this on and take that on the back. And there we have some very pretty gift wrapped macarons.